time.
Who are these socials?
Taking down the other podcasts one by one.
Who are these socials?
That clip is why people make fun of you.
With Karl
This is all just for the radio.
and Mike.
We have a lot of business to take care of.
Who are these
We are
socials?
the number one podcast on the internet today.
W-A-T-S.
Welcome to yet another episode of WATS, the show thousands of people come to answer the age-old question, what's the deal with social media? You can't find a more antisocial show that covers social media. I'm your host, Karl. With me, as always, is Mike Geary, a.k.a. Blind Mike. What's up, Mike?
I've been wondering how to stop Karl from spreading Daniel Alexander to all these other shows. Every show this guy's on, I see him talking about Daniel Alexander, and I thought, how do I stop this maniac? It dawned on me this week. Hey, Karl, what if your mother found out what you were up to?
Oh, shit! Are you going to tell her I'm making fun of Woke Dad?
I might have to. If
God
you don't
damn it,
stop
Mike.
This behavior.
You know what, Mike? Normally I discourage that type of thing, but I think my mom would enjoy a call from you. So go ahead and ring her up. You know, Mike, there are rumors going around that I'm a gay man and that I won't read your super chats, but the latter is simply not true. I will read every super chat, and I'll even interrupt my blind co-host in a rude manner to do so. And of course, if you do give us a super chat of $25 or more, you can get a personalized jingle for your next super chat. Now, Mike, the way that we start off this show is very unique. A lot of podcasts, they just want to get right into it. They got a lot of content. They got a lot of things to cover. They don't ease into it the way that you should on a pro show. The way that Mike and I do it, because we're pros, is we start off with a little back and forth. We volley the ball a little bit. It's a little thing I like to call banter.
Here come the guys with the banter. What's got frosted tips, yeah. Here come the guys with the banter. The other can't see shit, yeah. Here come the guys with the banter.
And as I so often do, I have to start off by talking about what I just witnessed on Stuttering John's program today when I was watching it. Because, well, let me start with this. John has now gotten to the point, he's reached the level of lolcow similar to like a King Cobra or a Perry Caravello.
Yeah.
Where it's literally like people are just saying, hey, John, change your shirt and I'll give you $10. or my favorite, and here's a screenshot that I grabbed from this today. Someone goes, or Jay Phoenix goes, $10 for any hat. Any hat you can find, just put on a hat. And he sits back down.
Paid a piper.
He's wearing a lime green shirt I've never seen him wear before. He's wearing like a Gilligan's hat.
You showed us, John.
Yeah, it's insane. And of course, I'm like in a group chat with Melton and Tukey and stuff. And they're like, yeah, it really shows how rich this guy is.
Yeah.
When you can get him to change his clothes for $20.
And we're the peasants throwing nickels at him.
Right.
We're the dumb rubes.
So the reason why I wanted to start out with this is because I saw a guy named Blind Mike in the chat today, super chatting John, and betting John that he sold his house in Florida. And I went, is that my friend Blind Mike, or is that an imposter?
It certainly was me.
It really was you.
Yeah, it was
Okay. Why were you betting John first $100 and then $1,000?
He wanted to do $100. I upped
Yeah.
it. I said, why not 1,000, coward?
That was after he proved you were wrong, though. He outsmarted you by showing his
Wow,
home
so he
listing.
thinks. But I've got a bombshell that I'm willing to drop on this program.
Oh, please. Dish.
Mike Geary, myself, I have actually never had any inside info into John's real estate or financial information in any way. Why would I? So
Right.
why he would think I would bet him over whether or not he's selling his house is so crazy. I was just in his chat and I heard someone goes, "You're selling your house." And he goes, "No, I'm not. You're lying." He's literally
Okay.
Bobo. He's like challenging. He's like, "You're lying." So I said, "No, John, I've heard you are selling your house. I've confirmed it."
That's
And he goes,
hilarious.
"I'll bet you I'm not." So I was like, "Sure, John, we'll bet." What are we betting on? That someday you'll sell your house and I'm aware of it? How are we going to prove any of this? What if in 4 years you sell your house? Then do I win?
Well, then when he said he proved that he wasn't, you go, oh, yeah, we'll see what happens on July 18th. Or you just
I named a date.
A random
Well,
date.
That's when I paid the price of prices. It's when I
Yeah.
was unable to send him money anymore because he blocked me.
Yeah, so you were blocked, which is odd because John's like, pay up or I'll block you.
Oh, no.
I know. And John is crazy, as we know, because he never pays anyone anything that he owes them. And then as soon as he makes a random bet during his show with a super chatter who has no idea who that person is, he
Right,
gets
it might not
very
have been
upset.
me.
Yeah, I didn't think it was you. I mean, there's no way Mike is doing this right now. This makes no sense.
I'm just bored.
That's hilarious.
Well, but that's the thing is like now John's gonna you lied. You were wrong. It's like, John, I wasn't wrong. I don't give a. Of course, I don't know if you're selling your house or not. That's a private decision you should make on your own. How would I know that, John? Ask yourself when you get into these arguments, like, how would Mike know that? Maybe I don't need to prove to him that he doesn't know whether or not I've reached out to a realtor.
Hold on a second, Mike. Are you telling me, because you are a professional podcaster, you're on multiple shows, this is just one of them.
Sure.
You're telling me you don't have a PI that you hire to dig up information, private information about people who are on other shows?
Hackrod does a lot of fine work, but I don't know that he's necessarily technically a private investigator. No,
Yeah, he's no Dustin.
no,
for
certainly
sure.
not. That's true.
That's why you can get to John so easily, because he's constantly looking for private information. He was on a show not that long ago talking about how much money I put down on this house and how long I've been paying for it and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I'm sure this is probably public record somewhere, real estate deals and stuff. Like, who cares?
In my mind, it was such a clear joke because I was like, John, why would I know if you were selling your house? And if the bet was that his house is listed, that would be public information. Like,
Yeah, right. You look pretty
who would
foolish.
bet on that?
Okay. All right. This is all becoming clear now. I was very confused
Yeah.
as to what was going on. You were just showing John.
I'm
that
a
he's
real rascal.
He's a boob. He's an idiot. All right, let's start off over on Instagram, only because we all love the jingle.
Blinded like Blind Mike. Don't be a douche. Instagram in the night. Blinded like Blind Mike. Check out these reels. They might make you wanna fight.
We're going to ease into the program today, Mike. This is just a easy one. This is just a fun one. Cool. Nothing to analyze or overthink here. It's from my buddy Mike, who oftentimes gives me heads up on things that Howard Stern's up to. My other friend, Mike.
Oh.
A lot of Mikes in the world, it turns out. And he sent me this that he saw on Instagram. It's a fun little ditty we can all hum later.
I lost my penis in an ice bath. For 15 minutes I had no shaft. I lost my pecker in a cold plunge. I had 2 balls, now I have none. Misplaced my willy in a cold, cold pool. Got 10 bags of ice trying to act so cool. Now I'm playing Where's Wally with my doodly-doodly-doo. But I don't care because my body is recovering faster than you. Ice bath, hands up if you got an ice bath. No shaft in an ice bath. A couple of boys living in an ice bath. Ice bath, hands up if you got an ice bath. No shaft in an ice bath. A couple of boys sitting in an ice bath.
It's oddly specific.
It might be the dumbest song we've ever played on this show, and that's saying something.
I love it. It gets a laugh out of you the instant you hear it. But also,
Sure.
if that was blasting at a club or a bar or something,
Yeah.
you wouldn't really notice. You'd kind of just bob your head. And then maybe if you're paying attention, you'd be like, are they talking about dicks getting cut off? What is that?
I think they're talking about shrinkage. I think is what they're talking about.
Oh, well, that makes a hell of a lot more sense.
I don't know. I mean, he lost his dick and his balls. I don't know what's going on there. It sounded horrendous. All right, so David Eddins sent this next one in, another reel on Instagram. And I brought up before this concept. I don't know if we ever played the video or not, but this concept of blind baseball or blind softball.
We did actually, yeah. You mocked these poor people that are just trying to get some physical activity in, yes.
Yeah, and I believe that you had tried this sport one time, and I was picturing that in my mind and laughing.
I've never tried it, but I have been scouted in the past.
Well, I was laughing uproariously afterwards, thinking about
I don't think it would be that funny. I think it'd be a cleanup hitter.
But basically what happens is everything's got like noises going on and sounds, and the bases are things you can physically touch with your hands. And what we're about to see here, and you're not going to know if you're just listening or if you're Mike, but there's a pretty big blind gal who gets a hit, puts it down through the infield, and runs to first. All right, made some contact. There she goes. She's running. There's the base. And, down she goes.
Oh, no.
She just face forward into the base. It's like a big thing that's like probably 5 feet tall. And she just smashed into it.
I will say, when the idea of this was pitched to me, I never realized, I guess I never thought about it. It does make sense that the bases would be big like that.
Yeah.
But I just never thought of it that way.
It almost looked like American Gladiators or something, the way that she collided with that giant base just now. Or it was a bad slide. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on blind baseball, I'll be honest with you. All right.
Who is?
We played a video. Well, you sent me over a video a week or two ago where this woman was being really petty about having dinner guests over.
Oh,
and charging them, asking for a Venmo request afterwards. And it turned out that it was parody and satire.
Yeah, I missed the subtle hint of it being labeled #satire.
Right. The hashtag was the thing that you missed. But then I got to say that Miguel sent us this video. Okay. And we don't know if this is real or not. There's some evidence that it might actually be real.
Can we normalize sending the other family money for play dates? So recently, my daughter had a friend over, and I asked her mom for money, and this is how it went. So after the play date, I texted her mom, and I said, thanks for letting Jamie play today. Please help out with your share of the expenses for the play date, totaling $15 via Venmo. Let's do it again sometime. Because I can't keep doing these play dates if it's so expensive. And she said, expenses? And I said, yeah, she used supplies and food while she was here. And this way we can do this more often without a monetary obligation on just one party, right? Makes sense. Now, she didn't say much, but she did say what supplies. And of course I wrote them down. There was chalk, applesauce, fruit. She sat on the couch, so that's wear and tear. She actually broke a toy. She had 3 juice boxes. She went to the bathroom. She had yogurt. Then she actually sent the money, and I sent her a message thanking her for it, of course. She didn't say anything else, but I said, this will make it easier for us to do more play dates in the future. So what do you guys think?
All right, so the only reason why I would even pretend this is real is because she shows the screen grab at the end from Melissa Richards sending the $15. And she showed all the text messages back and forth too.
Yeah, well, so your reasoning might be the same as mine on the video I was wrong about, where I was like, this doesn't make any sense as a joke unless it's commenting on a thing that's really happening a lot. You know what I mean? Like, the joke is dumb and doesn't make any sense unless a lot of people are really doing this, but it's like, I've never understood why. Like, there's no way this person thinks, because they're posting it on social media, there's no way they think the community is going to rally around this and be like, yes, you deserve that $15.
Well, it is interesting to me because you're of a younger generation than I am, and I used to work with a lot of people who were younger than me, and it's just commonplace that whenever somebody gets lunch, everyone just refunds whatever their cost of the lunch was, and they're just constantly Venmoing each other money for every little dumb thing.
That's true, yeah.
All the time, and that wasn't a thing that existed in my generation. Like, one of us picked up the tab, and then you get it next time. But it's like they're constantly settling everything. They're settling right away. And that's why I wonder if, like, there are people who think like, well, no, I mean, she used chalk. She had an applesauce. Yeah. I mean, can you give me that money back?
Yeah, that is true. Where even like, I've had friends that make a lot more money than me, where they're like, okay, let's all like take a picture of the bill and we'll all Venmo. And I'm like, well, this is weird. Let me just pay for it. Like, it's strange.
There used to be a thing that people would do. And I think this is a lost fun game that people used to do at lunch. You go out with coworkers and then you play credit card roulette. Everyone hands in their credit card and the server just picks one randomly and you're buying lunch that day.
Yeah, that is fun.
Never see that anymore. It doesn't happen.
No, we're a cheaper generation, which is odd because it seems like less people are struggling because they're all showing it off on social media,
Well, less people are struggling because they're still living at home and they don't pay rent or utilities.
Right, yeah. So maybe it's working out for them.
I guess so. I guess they're doing fine. All right, one more from Instagram. And this is also from Miguel. And this is a woman who is in a stopped vehicle. The hood is up. It looks like she was probably hitting a bunch of other things before this guy with a camera approached her. And she has a thing in her hand. It's like those dusters, the aerosol where you spray condensed air.
Sure.
So you can clean off your keyboard or electronics and things like that. She's got one of those in her hand.
Yeah.
What happened? You hit a few cars, huh?
She is just sucking on it.
Are you okay? What's wrong?
Nothing.
Did you hit a few cars? Did you hit a few cars?
No.
Are you sure? Your car looks pretty banged up. Do you need an ambulance?
Another drag.
I don't think that's
That's where it ends right there.
It's a strange addiction to start because it doesn't feel like a party drug, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's the thing. I've never been addicted to weird drugs, so I don't even understand how something like this works. But I see those like My Strange Addiction shows on TLC that are always fun.
that's got to be just like a last resort, and you're looking around the room. It's like, well, my keyboard doesn't need to be that clean, you know?
Yeah, this is definitely a poor person's drug of choice. So, or someone who just doesn't have the hookup,
Right.
the contacts to get meth or something. But yeah, it's crazy because this guy walks up and it's filming the whole time. She obviously didn't realize that there's a camera on her, or else she wouldn't be sucking this shit down. From
It's a
the,
shame. Just a few months ago, that lady was
stuck
on
there.
the Steel Toe Morning Show, and now she's come to this.
I know it's really sad what happened. I blame the Ricadas personally.
We
but
all do, yeah.
What do I know? All right, I want to head over to YouTube, but first, let's get caught up on a couple of these.
Yay, super chats.
Starting with CMOS 4044. Oh, you know CMOS is definitely going to have a song on here.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks for the super chat. Simos for 1044 is such a fan, he even helped Carl install new paneling in his basement.
CMOS says, Carl always be spreading the Daniel Alexander slander. Daniel Alex slander. I like that.
I know. You're ruining this man's good
That's
name
fun.
all over the place.
I don't think a lot of people believe his bullshit. I'll be honest with you.
You don't think so?
Did you see? So we were covering him on WATP. I don't know if you saw the videos I played,
Yeah.
but he claims that there's a conservative podcast that's going after him and sending people.
Is that us?
I would hope so.
It would
I
have
mean,
to
I don't
be, right?
consider this to be a conservative podcast, but I
Yeah,
mean, if you don't like
fit
him,
the description, but
if you don't like him, I guess it means you have to be conservative or something like that.
I suppose, yeah. And we do bash queer kids stuff, so maybe he's onto something.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks for the super chat, KJ. The Instagram jingle lyrics seem to be studied more than the Dark Side of the Moon album.
KJ $10 says, Mike, we were all aware of your hilarious takes on comedy and pop culture, but now you throw your singing ability into the mix, you devil. Where does your talent end?
I, quite frankly, haven't gotten enough roses for my performance on that song yet.
We have not talked about that, you and I. Thank you so much for participating. I didn't know who was a part of that. I just did my stuff and recorded Jenny jingles, and then was surprised to see Mike Geary in the We Are the Dabblers video, which you can find on
It was
podcast.
pitched to me as me being the Stevie Wonder of this version of the song, which I thought I could just be a regular guy for once, but no.
Nope, you're the Stevie Wonder. That was very fun. Thank you for being a part of that.
Oh, my pleasure.
Herb Beta Patch 2 bucks. DSP charges $100 to put on a vest. Darkside Phil. Oh, right. He's another one of these guys who, yeah, give me money and I'll humiliate myself on the internet. John has gotten to that point in his
You don't
career.
believe I have a vest?
Oh my God. And at the same time, he's yelling about his Leno credits. He was literally on NBC television for 10 years. And now he's putting on funny hats for $10.
My favorite of all time, and I know it's been mentioned a million times, but my favorite is the Pro Football Arm Wrestling Championship because it sounds like a fake credit that like a sitcom character would have.
Today, he literally found the video on YouTube and started playing it. The Pro Football Arm Wrestling Hall of Fame. He's like, because somebody said it wasn't a real credit. He's like, this isn't a real credit? Are you kidding me? This was on CBS.
Yeah.
No one's ever heard of this thing. No one's ever seen it.
Again, John, like, we believe you were part of something that no one saw or gave a fuck about. We believe you.
And by the way, if they reached out to me to do that gig, I would say yes. So
there you go.
I'm not even saying that you should have taken the gig. I just wouldn't still be bragging about it 6 years later. That's for sure. Rocco Orby, 2002, $5. I was listening to the Literotica episode with the weepy lady who wants the 1,000 cocks. Since it's an audio format, this might be up Mike's alley.
Oh, all right. I'll check it out.
The Literotica episode. The lady who wants 1,000 cocks.
Not familiar.
F1 fan, $5. Love you guys and the show. WATS is probably my favorite show in the WAT verse. FSJ, FKB. Ever thought about an Indianapolis or Nashville live show? It's funny you say that, F1 fan. Thank you for the kind words and the $5. We did do a show in Nashville.
Yeah, that was the first one, right?
The second one. We did Chicago.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
WATP I'm talking about, not WATS, obviously. We did Chicago, and then was Nashville second? I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is that it turns out, because I want to go to Nashville because it's a cool place to be and be a fun weekend, but it is not easy to get to Nashville from anywhere. It's really in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. It's not drivable. Dr. Steve drove. He lives in the same state, and it was like a 12-hour drive for him. It's nuts. Like, there's no one who lives near Nashville. Actually, the only person who lives near Nashville who drove it was Shuley. It was a 2-hour drive from Huntsville, Alabama. If that tells you
who wants him there, you know?
How remote that was. Red Jared C, $10 says, first time able to watch it live. Thanks for the great shows. BMWO, Blind Mike World Order.
Thank you, buddy.
I wonder if I have a Blind Mike World Order. I feel like we do.
Blind Mike World Order. BMWO.
You got it, buddy. I'm bringing back the World Orders.
Yes.
KJ, $10 says, Jody B was great on WATP the other day and had great takes on WATS All-Stars, Woke Dad, and Joey M. I agree, KJ. Jody B's been a long-time listener of WATP, and he was nervous before we started the show. He's like, Carl, you ever get nervous? I'm like, well, not for podcasting. Other stuff, sure.
Do it every week.
Yeah, like real stuff. Yeah, of course, but not podcasting. When you go to the VD clinic, yeah, nervous, but podcasting is pretty easy. But he was great. He was relaxed. He knows the show. He knows the deal. He was fantastic. All right. We're talking a lot about these various lolcows. I want to head over to YouTube to give everyone an update on one of our favorites.
I'll stop the show and watch YouTube.
Because we haven't talked about King Cobra in a minute.
No.
And Psychotic in our Discord server posted this video from Kiwi Tapes, who was giving us a little bit of an update. And it's a long video. There's a lot to unpack, but I grabbed a couple highlights from it that'll give us an update on what he's up to. This starts with just kind of a recap of what's been going on over the past few months.
Oh, good.
Last time we covered Joshua Saunders, aka King Cobra JFS, aka the gothic bad boy wizard of Casper, Wyoming. He had just broken a 6-year-long streak of not having a girlfriend. Our boy was on top of the world. The mead was flowing, the DoorDash was good, and he had a girlfriend sitting right there on his lap to show us all. But there would be one slight problem. That the new queen would be absolutely insane. Her name is Jessica, and during her first trip she managed to break things, scream, and cause a great number of other issues for Josh.
Including getting him evicted.
Yes.
The police were called so many times and finally the landlord was just like, all right, I'm sorry, Josh, we love you, buddy. You gotta go. You're causing too many problems here.
And you could even tell by the end of her stay there, King Cobra was reminiscent of a guy that's been in like a loveless marriage for 30 years.
Yes.
Like, all right, whatever she wants. Yeah, no, sorry, officer. She's just ranting and raving again.
Yep. I can't control her. Can you control her? Maybe a night in the slammer will do her right. So he had to move back in with his father. Now, this is kind of like where you and I left off, him getting evicted. We haven't really talked about him since
we knew he was in
out.
a trailer, I think is the last we spoke of him.
Right, so he actually moved back in with his father at first and was doing some shows from there, but not as much. And then his father got him a trailer. So now he lives in a trailer. And I guess it's a bigger place for him. but his podcast setup is not as good because the old one used to be able to see everything in the background, going back into the kitchen and all this crazy shit on the walls and everything.
Right.
Now he's just like up against a wall. So it's not as interesting. It's kind of cramped looking. But Kiwi Tapes over here is looking on the bright side, trying to see what the positives are here about what might be to come for King Cobra content in the future.
Okay.
And away we go.
Place, things started to pick up again, and this saga might be one of the best that we've had. Only time will tell on that end, but what I do know here in the now is that Josh created one of his best culinary masterpieces after arriving in this trailer. Mashed potatoes is a simple dish, unless you make it fancy, and you really have to do a lot to make it fancy, so let me read off to you the recipe that Josh did for these mashed potatoes. I'm gonna give you a fair warning, it is one of the most disgusting combinations that he has ever put together, and the amount of microwaving done here is beyond the pale. Also keep in mind that Josh was extremely intoxicated when he was doing all of this. We start off with dehydrated mashed potatoes, add in a lot of butter, some whole milk, sour cream, bacon seasoning, bacon bits, the whole shaker, a ton of garlic powder, bacon ranch, Guinness extra stout beer, microwave it for about 12 minutes, top it with a whole triangle of roasted garlic cheese, add a couple handfuls of shredded cheddar cheese, then microwave it again for 8 minutes, top it with canned brown gravy and add more bacon ranch. Then you add the garnishes. Couple handfuls of Lay's cheddar sour cream and onion chips, a couple of handfuls of cheddar jalapeno Cheetos, another handful of cheese, and then microwave it for just 4 minutes. When you pull it out, top it with a nice slab of smoked salmon, and you're done. You have successfully turned mashed potatoes into what looks like 3-day-old rice and beans. And that's another thing I forgot to mention. You have to let it set for at least 12 hours before consuming it, because if you eat anything hot or cold, your teeth will go wild. The nerves in your gums will start doing the Harlem Shake. So you...
Okay. So he's back to putting together some fancy recipes for
Come
us.
up with the measurements and the time for all of that.
The time in the microwave is insane. It was almost 30 minutes when you add it all up.
That's got to be soup.
Yeah, you would think so. Like, why even put the Guinness in? It's evaporated completely at that point. It's not going to last that long.
And the combinations of sour cream and onion Lay's and Cheetos?
Yeah, I don't throw Cheetos in there. He'll add junk food to anything, and it's like gourmet to him. Yeah, in fact, I think he gives his assessment of it here.
You gotta let it cool off. What I have described to you has to be one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen him make. To microwave something for over 24 minutes. That thing almost spent a half an hour in the microwave. The Guinness alone has me shook. But Josh absolutely loved it. While the sheer sound of him flipping it with his fork made me revolt, Josh claimed it was a delicacy, and that by following his recipe, you could eat delicious goodness yourself. It would
in the video, you can see him eating this food. He looks wasted.
Can I make a request? I don't know how much pull I have here. That should be a wheel of consequence option. You have to eat King Cobra's food.
You have to recreate one of these recipes and eat it. God. I think Vinny would be rooting for that to happen.
Vinny will be back on the food in no time.
Vinny will be like throwing all the matches, like, gosh darn it, you got a better creep than me, Carl. Golly gee.
Can you imagine what this guy's shits taste like?
What
it tastes like?
Tastes
oh my God.
Like? No, I cannot.
Are like I meant to say.
Smell like maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can't be great. All right, so one more clip that I have from here, because this is talking about how things are going to go in the future.
But Josh absolutely loved it. While the sheer sound of him flipping it with his fork made me revolt, Josh claimed it was a delicacy, and that by following his recipe, you could eat delicious goodness yourself. It was this kind of content that I was most excited for him to move into the trailer for. I had seen the kitchen that was in that thing, and it's gonna make for some mean cooking videos. It's now all on Josh to get the right angles, which he is notoriously horrible at. Other than the mashed potatoes potatoes, Josh hasn't been up to too much. He recently broke his phone in a fit of rage and decided that he was going to sell some wands to make up for the difference. He sold 2 wands, making far more than what the phone costs. The people are definitely hungry for them. Josh would also get into a minor argument with Jessica, whom, believe it or not, he is still dating after she got him evicted.
Wow.
Wow, really?
I was not ready for that because earlier in this video, they were showing that Jessica is just completely losing her mind on her streams. And she streams from her bathroom, and then her elderly parents are like, you got to get out of the bathroom. You've been in there for hours. And she screams back at them. And then at one point, she's drunk in the bathroom and she passes out in the tub. And Josh is trying to call her phone to wake her up. And they send the police to make sure she doesn't die in the tub.
Imagine that's your kid.
I know. Imagine that you live with that kid. You're just like, I just wish she would just die in the tub.
Oh,
Let's get a new tub.
Now, well, what can I ask though? What does dating consist of? Because it's a plane ride away, right?
Right. So I think he goes into that a little bit here.
Okay.
Jessica was mad at Josh for one reason or another, and she decided to tattle to his father, Clint, about his duster usage. Clint in the past has...
Wow! Everyone's doing this now.
You
Everyone's
can't
calling
escape
everyone's
this.
parents and tattling on them.
Oh, and doing duster, I was thinking, but yeah.
Okay, but yeah, there's a lot of duster going on around too. But this is crazy to me that she got him evicted. He hates her guts now. She's so annoying. She's such a pain in the ass. Tells on him to dad, and they're still dating?
Well, that's where, as one of the boys, you got to feel for Josh, because this is a guy that
Yeah.
just didn't get any pussy, and he feels like he has to settle for this. You feel bad for him.
But he's an internet celebrity now, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sure he can get some other pussy.
Take some ladies out for a nice meal of mashed potatoes and Guinness and Cheetos.
I hear Kate Meany single again. Could you imagine Josh's stream just turns into talking about his conversation with Kate Meany from the night before?
She's lying, guys. I did not use the F word.
claimed to take a firm stance against that kind of behavior, and I assume that Josh was scolded thoroughly for this. And now that Clint is Josh's landlord, he has a lot more control over him, something that I see leading to conflict in the future. This new saga is strange because in a way I feel like it's a return to the Cobra content that I was too late to witness. He's back to doing rants, he's doing food hacks, he's arguing with his dad and his girlfriend. It's weird how these things keep repeating themselves for him, just in different places with different people. While I am not pleased with the new streaming studio that he has, this trailer probably will be some pretty interesting content. Another thing I see coming to a head very soon is his relationship with Jessica. If you watched the beginning of this video, then you'd know she was an absolute menace during her last trip, and I don't really see Josh as eager to have her back, because if he does, it's going to cause even more problems. There might be even bigger fights, and if he doesn't, she's gonna make his life a living hell.
So that's what we have to look forward to from King Cobra.
Oh boy. But you know, it does, like, I do try to put things into perspective. Like when you hear that guy say things like, listen, am I happy with Josh's living situation? Not at all. No. It's like, you're not
Right.
happy with it. Who cares?
No, he's saying that the last place he had, he was doing the best stuff from. That was because I think it's interesting to hear that he's huffing duster or whatever,
Sure.
and then she tells on dad Clint, and now Clint's monitoring him and is his landlord. So I think he's trying to be on his best behavior, which sucks.
That's it sucks for everyone involved. Poor Clint is really the victim here. But yeah, Cobra was an internet star. He should be able. Does he not make enough? Because he's got, like, if you look at, like, I don't know what his, like, live streaming numbers are or anything, but if you look at his YouTube channel and his Reddit, like, subreddit and all that,
Yeah.
he's got a bigger following than John, maybe. Or at least he
For
did
sure.
at one time.
Yeah, I don't know that he's monetizing yet. See, I'll tell you this, and this is something that I learned when I was in Vegas. I couldn't believe it. But Moody is the guy who works with Melton on the super tip system and a bunch of other stuff behind the scenes. And Moody was doing some research as to channel sub numbers and then money that they make off of super chats and all this stuff. And it turns out that if you look at the top 20 channels for super chats on YouTube,
Yeah.
2 of those are the Shuli Network and Misery Loves Company. So
Really?
it just so happens that in yours and my world, like everyone who has 2,000 people watching them is rich, because they're just super chatting nonstop. But it's actually not the case for most of these people. Most of these people are not monetizing views very well.
Right. Well, like I can understand Theo Vaughn isn't relying on super chats or whatever, but like a guy like
Correct.
King
Right.
Cobra, I'm surprised hasn't at least tried to take advantage. I mean, I understand he's
He
not
does.
necessarily business
He begs.
savvy,
He begs
but-
for money. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, I think the thing that he gets more than anything else is, kind of like what we talked about when John was getting deliveries to his house every day of beer and
Yeah.
Slim Jims and stuff. Like that's what King Cobra gets. He gets like pizzas and stuff delivered to
dang.
him. And then
Guys,
they're
go
like,
super chat King. Honestly, King Cobra deserves your money more than John, I would say. So
I agree with that. You're the one super chatting John today, asshole.
I can't anymore.
Yeah, well, that's all over with now.
$6 is all he got out of me.
But that's okay because there's other people that are fun to fuck with on the internet, and that's what we're going to go to next over on Twitter.
Look at this tweet now.
And of course, I'm referring to our boy, Joe Matarese.
Ah, yes.
Joe Matarese put out the new comedy special that Mike reviewed. He's not really doing a lot else from a content standpoint except for recreating movie scenes and stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. He had a live stream up, and like how this WATS premieres at 6, and if we were late, it just says waiting for who are these podcasts or whatever it says.
Yep.
Joe had that up for like 2 days. It was something titled "Joe is cleaning his kitchen," and it was up for like 2 days waiting to premiere, and then it just never happened. So I don't know if he's like. Well, I can confirm he's afraid to do content, I think, in a minute. But
yeah,
I don't know what his deal is really.
He seems frazzled by the whole thing. And it's weird. He's a veteran comic. He's been doing this a long time. He's had a lot of different podcasts. He's friends with all
60.
all the big names out there. And this is the new content that he is putting out based on what we're seeing here on Twitter.
Okay, you son of a bitches. You all wanted to see old guys playing baseball videos. I'm old as shit, 56. My buddy here, Gary, is, I think he's 46. You 46? 44. 44?
44.
He's 44.
Why? This is an edited video. Why is he leaving this part in?
They're good buddies. Who are you? What's your
He
age?
doesn't know what content is. It's like, okay, whatever. He's 44, 46. Doesn't matter. What are we doing? What's going on?
Yeah, and what is you all, when he says like all of you wanted to see me play baseball with a guy not really my age.
Oh, Mike. You're not understanding the comedy stylings of one Joe Matarese.
Oh, that's fair.
See, what he's saying is like, obviously no one cares about old guys playing baseball.
Joe, you son of a gun.
Yeah, he got you.
Hey,
He got you there.
Joe, you got me again. You were right.
12 years older, you will probably easily be able to see the difference. So what do you want me to do?
Again, with this,
So he's literally standing and he's at home plate, but he's facing the backstop and he's got a tee set up with a ball on it. And he's literally just hitting the ball off a tee. I'll back this up a little bit so we can hear their banter.
So what do you want me to do?
again, with this, be able to get to that pitch and this pitch.
Got you. From the same spot.
Yeah.
He's hitting a ball off a tee. And now he's doing it fast.
Yeah. And then he gets into this musical montage.
And then slow-mo, him hitting a grounder off a tee.
Ken Griffey Jr. himself.
And then it says, will hard work and practice pay off? Find out this Sunday afternoon after my 9 a.m. game. That's if I get to play. So this training montage is him hitting a ball off of a tee, and supposedly they're going to be playing baseball.
Yeah, it's weird because while he was back, before you ran him off the internet,
right? My bad.
He was bragging a lot about this softball league he was in, and this fight he got in with a guy that wasn't taking it as seriously as him, and the guy said his podcast sucked, and he was mad about that. But like, he was mad at this guy for not taking the team that seriously, and I was like, Joe, maybe he takes his real job very seriously, and that's the energy that he's focusing in his life.
Yes, good point. But what the thing that I don't understand about this is that baseball is a very difficult sport to play for the reason that there's a guy whipping a ball as fast as he can. It's a round ball. You have a round bat. You have to try to make contact with it and put it into play. And that's how anything happens in baseball. And Joe's going, I'm training by hitting off a tee.
Right.
This in no way will get you prepared for what baseball is.
Well, find out this Sunday.
Find out this Sunday. They're like, this guy can't hit a curve. I don't know. I had him on some different tees this week. He might be able to hit the curveball. What?
It's also, I think he plays like softball, right? Is he hitting softballs off of
No,
the tee?
this is baseball.
Yeah,
this
so
is
what the fuck
legit
is he doing?
baseball. It's so because he even said at the beginning, he's like, old guys playing baseball. Like, okay, if it was like retired players, if it's Ken Griffey Jr. versus Sammy Sosa, all right, that'd be interesting. But just like a washed up comic,
He's and this is what, like, people, including myself, not so much, but sometimes I make fun of Brendan Schaub, and other people do as well.
You're a
and a
thick
lot
boy.
of what they make fun of Brendan for is just having too many balls in the air. Like, the guy, he's a UFC commentator, he's a stand-up, he's a pizza guru now, he's
Gearhead.
a truck guy.
Yeah.
So, but at least, like, whatever you want to say about Brendan, he's successful in that he's made money. Like, he's made a career, he supports his family. Like,
no, wait. Oh, Brendan Schaub, you're talking
Brendan Schaub.
about. I'm sorry, I thought you were going back to Joe. I was just like, wait,
no.
okay. I got
Brendan
it.
Schaub, whatever you want to say about him is
Keep
put
going,
fucking
yes.
bread on the table.
Right, yeah, it's a good point, yes.
Joe has all these balls in the air. He's a baseball guy. He's a comic. He's a podcaster. He's Italian. He has all these things he thinks he specializes in, and they're going
Yeah.
to be streams of revenue that never work out. Like,
It's
never.
almost-
Like, after 30 years, Joe, 40 years, however long you've been in stand-up, pick one.
I almost hate to say this because it's very insulting to Joe Matarese, but it reminds me of Patrick Michael, a.k.a. Patty Pukewater,
Yes.
a.k.a. Patty Seacouse. We just did a bonus show this week on WATP's Patreon and YouTube channel where we broke down his 2 latest podcast episodes. And Patrick Michael's another guy who can't make money doing anything, but tries everything all the time. He's doing metal vocals and art and different types of music and podcasting and comedy.
But again, Joe is underneath Patrick Michael, I would say, because again, I assume Patrick Michael has a job. Yes, he's not living off of podcasting.
I don't know. I think it's government assistance.
Well, whatever it is, he has this weird attitude where he won't go all in. He's like, "You guys think I do this to make a living? You're gay. That no one
Right.
does that." So
Right.
like Patrick Michael doesn't, at least pretends not to want to do it as a career. This is again, Joe has deluded himself into thinking he can do this as a career, but doesn't put any work into it. Like, he spent $100,000, I guess, on that fucking special, and to what end, I don't know, because he didn't put any work into the writing. It didn't seem like there were things where like he bordered on a couple premises that might have been interesting, and it's like, oh, you thought you were gonna buy laughs here, I think, with a snazzy set.
All right, I have a funny story for you because I just had a phone call conversation with a guy who knows Joe Matarese this week, and what you're saying just reminded me of something. So this guy who I was talking to has helped other podcasters, pretty big, successful ones, with their podcast. He got a background in radio for decades and decades. And Joe Matarese came to him and said, and this is years ago, "Hey, man, I could use some help with my show. It's not really getting any traction. Maybe you have some ideas and thoughts." And so this guy, for no reward, just said, "Sure, man, let's meet for lunch." They spent 3 or 4 hours having a discussion. He broke down, here's what you should do. Here's how you can do it. Gave him this whole blueprint the entire time. Joe's nodding his head. Okay, yeah, no, that's great. No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The next week, Joe does his show, and it's right back to fixing Joe.
Yep.
Like right after this guy spent all this time with him, gave him all these ideas, Joe was totally nodding. And the guy reached out, he's like, "Joe, what the fuck?" He's just like, "Yeah, that stuff's not me, man. This is me. You know, I got problems. I need help with it."
When I started covering his newest podcast, the first 2 episodes he put out were recorded on the same afternoon.
Right.
And in the second episode, he got away from things he promised in the first episode.
He abandoned his format immediately.
They were recorded half an hour apart.
So yeah, so that's Joe for you. Now, this next thing I want you to explain to me. This is another tweet
so
from
I just
Joe.
want to kind of add it into the discussion of his special. Someone messaged me about it, and then they tweeted this at me. So they posted I guess just a similar to what we did when I had an issue with Dat Phan, where we posted the blind cane emojis on his Instagram post.
Yes.
This guy did that on Joe's YouTube special. Now, I would most comics, like, pick a comic, Todd Barry of Joe's generation.
Yep.
If you just went on his YouTube and posted a blind cane emoji, they wouldn't be like, "Is Blind Mike coming after me?"
Mike, they wouldn't even see it.
Right.
They wouldn't even be looking at the comments.
Yes.
If they were, they'd scroll through quickly and not even give it a second thought.
Yeah. So this guy posted the blind cane emoji. Joe deleted it and then asked him this question, which he also deleted later, I guess.
Yeah, so it says, please send me a clip of his review.
So he knew again, this guy didn't say like, "Hey, Mike reviewed your special." He just knew that I reviewed it because he's paying very close attention. And then to what end, I don't know, but he wanted to see a clip of my review, which is on Patreon, guys, if you want to check that out.
But also, what's he going to do with that? Is he going to...
Right, that's what I mean. Like,
he almost has the Stuttering John syndrome where he's like, I'll just explain myself and then he'll understand that I am a great comic. Whatever he's saying, he's wrong. I'm right.
Yeah, but Joe's a guy that tricks himself because, like, in that, if you go watch that review that we did, I did my best to be as unbiased as possible. Like, genuinely, we tried to say when he had funny jokes or, like, decent premises, whatever. Like, I genuinely tried. And that's all Joe asked, if you remember that Instagram stream I was part of, where he's like, my problem with these guys is they're never on. They don't say any good things. Like, I genuinely tried that. And if Joe watched it, he would say, oh, these guys just want to hate. They're fueled by hate. And it's like, no, Joe, do you know how many comics I talk about that I love? It's just you don't put any work into it.
Right. Oh, so here's another thing. Speaking of Joe Matarese. Okay. Going back to the Artie Lang show. Now, Artie Lang had a show. Mike Bichetti was on there. And the producer was this guy, Dan Filato. Yeah. You probably heard his name, Dan the Enabler.
I have.
And so Dan is a Chicago guy, and Mike David is from Chicago, Red Bar. Red Bar.
Yeah.
And if you remember, nobody went after Joe Matarese more viciously than Mike David.
That's like why I know him, is because of Mike David. Yeah.
Right. So apparently, they were talking about this on Artie's show. Apparently, Joe Matarese went to Dan Filato and goes, "You're a Chicago guy. I need to get Mike David's information." He pulled I needed my PI helping me out to dox this guy. And Dan was just like, well, I don't know him. I mean, I can ask around, but I don't know who the guy is. It's not like he had a career in radio before this. He's just an internet troll who popped up. So Dan...
Unless you're going to murder him, what would you do with that information?
Right,
anyways?
right. So Dan wasn't able to get Joe any information on David. And they were talking about this on Artie's show. Joe would stop talking to Dan. He wouldn't talk to him anymore because he couldn't get him. Yeah. Because he couldn't get him Mike David's information. Yeah, right. Isn't that nuts? Joe Matarese is a weird fucking dude, man. The more I learn about him,
crazier than any of these people.
He might be.
I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, oh, you know what? Joe's a nice guy. They got made fun of like early on and didn't know how to handle it. I'm sure he's changed. Because he went on with Porcelain. After those documentaries, he did like a full interview with Porcelain. Yeah. And so I thought like, oh, maybe he gets it. And it turns out he does not.
Well, so he got married to his wife, who's a therapist or something like that. And that woman put him on all this medication.
Yeah.
And we have opined that that's the reason why he's not funny anymore. He used to be very funny. And now he's just so heavily sedated or whatever. He's not the same guy. But maybe it was right to do that. I've never said this before. I've never thought this before. Maybe he was that fucking crazy. This woman's like, I got to save this guy's life.
Maybe the woman was right.
Man, I know, I can't believe I'm saying it, Mike. I'm going to cut this out in post, but jeez.
Well, he said in that Instagram Live, I don't know if he held to it or not, but he's like, I'm off my meds now.
Right. Like, I remember that because that's when I was all excited because you messaged me when that was happening. You're like, Joe's off his meds and he's ready to start doing a show. And I'm like, yes, let's go.
Yay, super chats.
High and Tight $5 says, in the morning to you, ITM. Serious question. I get the bit that Mike is blind, but why is he always perfectly framed just off screen? You do have an interesting, I don't know if you do this on purpose or what it is, but you are in the right third of your screen at all times.
Want me to move over a little bit?
No. Not that way, definitely. That's the wrong way. You're never centered, but you're always in the exact same spot.
Yes,
like
I
you're,
do it on purpose. It's artistic.
I think you do, because you're showing off the amazing artwork
Well, that's
or
true. I
portraits you have.
I want people to see Ray Charles and
Yeah.
Klugman if I can get him in there.
Okay. Doc Jones, 73, $10 says, Blind Mike for the win, excellent consequence option. That is a
Right?
funny option. I do not want to have to eat that shit, though. That sounds terrible.
Well, you got to win then. You got to bring it.
I know. That
I
is
think
the
I'm
problem.
on that program soon. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, are you really?
July
Good,
8th or something like that.
Yeah, because I'm going to be out of town, and I was asking Vinny if we wanted to skip or if he wanted to have me, and he goes, I'll find someone.
Yeah.
He picked a good...
He found me.
Found a good choice then. Excellent. Doc Jones, 73, $10. Creep off consequence. Cobra haircut from the mom wife. Also, I have a jingle. Oh, thank you for reminding me, Doc Jones. It's a big list now these days, so sometimes I do forget who's on here.
Here comes the money.
Thanks for the super chat, Doc Jones 73.
You're dead to me, Joey C. My best friend, Joey C. You're dead to me again, Joey C.
Ooh, that's an old one. That sounds like from the original batch right there.
I don't even know what it's referencing.
You're dead to me, Joey C. I don't know. So a King Cobra haircut from Jenny Jingles. Interesting. I mean, Vinny's already kind of got that going already, but
I think so.
Yeah, more so than I do. Michael C. $2. Missy B should diagnose Cobra as a narcissist. I'll get her right on that for you.
I don't know if Cobra would fit that bill, to be honest.
No, definitely not. He's a tard.
Yeah.
Want to $5 says Guinness World Record submission for Stuttering John. Only millionaire to make their elderly mother wait on them in order to continuously beg for $2 super chats. Yeah, that's the other thing too.
I said iced coffee.
The way he treats his mother is insane. These poor people. And I played the clip on my show yesterday, but he's ranting and raving at Kevin Brennan. And that's why you never got a hug from your father. And that's why you hate all your siblings. And you're a little, oh, hey, Mom, what's going on? And his mom comes in with like Amazon packages. It's just like, this is a 58-year-old man screaming into his computer about Kevin Brennan's family life.
Psychologically, too, I was trying to think of like, if I was broadcasting from my parents' house and my mom didn't realize I was streaming and yelled like, hey, do you need anything? I'd be like, hey, I'm doing something. I wouldn't be like, yes, please serve me in front of all my fans.
Yeah, you know what? I would pretend I'm nice to my mother just for that 2 hours that I was streaming. She'd be confused, but whatever. I would.
Hey, my beloved mother, please, I don't want them to see you. Not, what do you have for me?
Oh, no creamer, Mom? No creamer. No, that's
Really?
fine. I'll drink it black. That's fine.
You're
He's
one of
the
these
worst.
haters.
He's the worst. Charity McDennis, $5. Nana, woke dad. Oh, yes, I do have Nana, woke dad.
Oh.
We do have not only the new song for woke dad, I have a stinger that was created by Bad at Karate as well. So we're gonna get to that very soon. But first, I want to thank my boy Hulkamania.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks for the super chat, Hulkamania. You might also agree we need more weekly curb stomping threats from the Army Major.
Gifting 5 Who Are These Podcast memberships. Thank you very much for that. If you were just gifted a membership, we have 2 bonus shows we put out every single month. You can find those on the community tab. Like I said, we just did the one about Patty Pukewater. Producer Chris and I did that one on Tuesday. But also you get to watch Who Are These Podcasts live when we record them on Wednesdays and Saturdays or anytime thereafter. Complete episodes or video episodes not available anywhere else. Rocco Orby does $5. Imagine going to Woke Dad's coffee shop and finding a Super Adventure Club sticker.
My God.
I'm not sure what that means. What's that a reference to?
I don't know. He does a lot of stickers on his
He does.
coffee shop.
I don't remember what Super Adventure Club is. I apologize.
Neither do
Douche of the Devil is $5. Hit me with it, boys. Oh, does Douche of the Dabble verse? Oh.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks for the super chat, Douche of the Dabbleverse. A gift like this is much better than Dr. Steve's finger in your butt.
Hit it. You got it, Douche the Dabbleverse. Thank you very much for contributing. And Herb Beta Patch, $5 says, if John's moving to his mom's house in Florida, why is he receiving mail at his mom's house in New York? Great question.
Got news for you, buddy. He's selling that house. Spread the word.
Yeah, I think Mike really had a bombshell today. I don't think that John would have been so upset if he didn't know something.
Yep, he's selling the house.
Selling the house. Herb Beta Patch is coming to Hackamania August 16th and 17th. WTPLive.com for tickets. Looking forward to a very fun weekend. And I was talking to a bunch of the people who are coming in. Everyone's coming in on Thursday, it sounds like. So we'll do a meetup or something. We'll have some fun on Thursday. All right, let's head over to TikTok. It's a very important place for us.
TikTok's a psyop by the Chinese to fuck up the minds of our youth and some other people too. So let's talk quite a lot about these TikTokers we stalk and know. Oh, TikTok fucking blows.
Julia Fox. You ever heard of her? You know about this?
I miss her very much. Yes.
I know. I was thinking we got to get back on our bonus shows. We're breaking down her book. I miss it. We got to get back on it. But Julia Fox is back on TikTok. And oh boy, she's got a doozy here.
Okay, I don't see many people talking about this.
So she's standing in front of, I guess if you do a Google image search for the GOP logo, that's what she's standing in front of, a bunch of GOP logos.
So I'm going to appoint myself Elephant's management, marketing, crisis PR. What is this? Elephants never asked for this. Like, they would hate this if they knew about this. Like, this just feels so unfair. And you know what? I will start that movement to remove the elephants from the GOP emblem. Because this is just, it's exploitative, it's misleading, and it paints elephants in a negative light. And elephants happen to be the best, most amazing, sensitive, beautiful, kind, intelligent creatures to ever walk the earth.
Next! Don't call us, we'll call you. Thank you. Next!
So why are they the Republican symbol? Like, they're literally the opposite of a Republican. I can't. Free the elephants, save the elephants from this type of slander.
So I have to tell you, Mike, this is why I like social media. Because before this, you'd see a person like Julia Fox and think, I bet that idiot thinks she's funny, but is actually retarded. But you wouldn't know. You just have a strong assumption. Now she goes on TikTok and you go, yeah, I knew it. I knew she was an idiot.
That's exact. My thought was like, it's great that Julia Fox thinks like, not only am I hilarious, but I'm appealing to people's like intellect. Like they're gonna think like, hey, she's funny, but she's making a point here. Like she's really saying something.
The first comment underneath this with almost 10,000 hearts on it is Tana Mojo. There's a Tana Mojo. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, no, I didn't know I should know that name.
Yeah, a very famous YouTuber, social media influencer, does the show with Brooke Schofield.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so she writes on there, I love you.
Well, that's the other problem is that, like, Julia Fox is not one retard in a sea of geniuses.
Right.
There are people that are like, you go, girl. Absolutely.
Which actually leads to our next Julia Fox TikTok very well, because it starts with Julia Fox watching someone else's video talking about her and then responding to it.
Yeah. To speak up about her abuse. But instead, the book becomes a bestseller for her.
So I wish that she had started that video in the right place. She didn't. But it's some woman. Do you know who that was who was talking there?
I don't, but it's a fan of her book, apparently.
Yeah, it's some woman saying that, you know, you'd think that all the abuse she suffered, it would be negative to her, but instead she turned that around, turned it into a positive by writing this amazing book that we all can't stop reading.
Sure.
And this is how Julia Fox responds to that.
I swear, I forget like the majority of stuff in my life because I just have to survive. But thank you for reminding me because I really am that girl. Like, I really did that. I really like, I'm so Julia, like that song's about me, you know? And like, this is why. But anyway, I have some tea. So the
real
club owner
quick, can I
that
just
said
say,
that-
like, the girl, people like Julia Fox and Trisha Paytas, and maybe it's well, I was gonna say maybe it's a generational thing, but I think I'm Julia Fox's exact age.
Yeah.
Like the way they talk, they are birthed from the internet. Like everything they say, it's internet jargon. It's not how people speak. So when you hear her talk like this, you're like, I can't keep up with what the fuck she's saying. It's all just like internet lingo.
I can pick up on some of it through context
I know what she
clues.
means, but it's not. I'm
No,
saying they're not
I
like
know.
real sentences.
It's a different language for sure.
Really am that girl. Like
the book becomes a bestseller.
What the hell just happened?
Oh.
Sorry about that, Mike.
Listen to this
I swear, I
My internet
forget
just
like
got
the
real
majority
weird.
of stuff in my life because Julia, like that song's about me, you know, and like this is why. But anyway, I have some tea. So the club owner that said that, the symptomatic of a relationship gone sour to like the Guardian or the Observer, I can't remember now. He actually saw him at a party a couple months ago and he tried to take me home. And I was like, pause, you're still ugly AF. Anyway, yeah, that was just such a crazy, scary, like isolating time. I really never thought anything like that would happen to me, and actually haven't been the same since. Like my spirit broke, but
So I got to tell you, Mike, this is odd to me.
Yeah.
Because you're watching a video of someone talking about you, but they're saying positive things. I've never experienced this in my life. I'm always playing clips of people saying horrible, horrific things about me that I have to then respond to. This is a whole different, it's like a backwards world or something.
And the funny thing is, like, she's reacting to, like, and she's gotten, I think we read reviews on one of the Down the Drain episodes we did.
Yeah.
Where, like, people are praising her book. And it makes me want to ask something that I think, like, this thought, I think, separates us from a lot of the people that we cover. Are we idiots for not getting her book? Are we the dumb ones for thinking it's all lies? Because how are that many people, and I'm not saying it's a ton, but how are people reading that book and not being like, oh, this is ridiculous horseshit?
There's not enough skepticism out there in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. And how many times we have to remind people that don't believe everything you read and, you know, like all this crazy shit. And then they go, yeah, but I wouldn't write a book with that many lies about me. So I can't imagine she would do that. It's like, no, people do that. She's one of them.
Yeah.
Who's that congressperson who's on OnlyFans now or whatever?
Oh, I don't
know. Blanking on his name.
His?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. He's this Republican who lied about every single thing in his life.
Oh, okay. I did hear about this.
Is it George Santos?
I'm not sure.
No, I don't know.
I did hear this.
I'm blanking on it. But anyway, you hear about these people who are just able to lie about everything. And you go, well, that's incredible. Nobody would ever do that. And you go, no, there's actually people like that who exist. And I think Julia Fox is obviously one of them.
They're like, what an incredible story. It's like, yeah, it is incredible. Like, unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like it couldn't possibly happen to a person.
Yeah.
Go figure. All right. Let's talk about someone who's not incredible in any single way. No. And that would be Dat Phan.
My buddy.
Holy shit. This guy is still trying to do comedy over 20 years after his big break.
And these clips will make you like mystified that he's been in comedy for 20 plus years. It's crazier. I'm trying to think of what's crazier, him or Joe Matarese still doing it. Because at least Joe Matarese is like, or was it?
Dude, it's not even close. Joe actually forms jokes and tells jokes.
And Joe was friendly with Artie Lang and Jim Norton and Florentine and these people who are in comedy at least.
Right. It's not even close.
Yeah.
So I'm not even going to go there and insult Joe Matarese to that level because Dat
got
Phan
kicked off America's Got Talent. That's got him there.
Dude, Dat Phan, what he posts on his TikTok, these are things he decides to post, are things that would have me waking up in sweats. You know what I mean?
Horrendous.
Like I'd be like, oh my God, did I do that poorly on stage? Did I bomb that bad? Like, oh no, okay, it was just a dream. Whew, okay.
And there are things if Dat I can't talk. If Dat posted an hour of his comedy, I would clip this specifically to be like, look how bad he is. So imagine what he's not posting.
Right. So let me start with this. This is, you just wrote, explain this.
Okay.
When you sent me this link.
See if you can.
All right, that is it for me. Our next comic coming to the stage. He's originally from San Diego, but now coming out of LA. Please put your hands together for Phan.
When we were over there, some of you guys, did you know they just threw bread at our apartment? What the f does that even mean? It's like, "Pshh." Just French bread. Just pieces of bread at us. We'd go for a walk, try to, Jasper, no, that's bread. It's not for you. It's for our apartment. Just, I asked my mom one time, I go, what do you like more? Do you like this hotel on this side or this one over there by the theme park? Which one do you like? She goes, I like San Diego.
Okay, so a couple things. Let me give you my thoughts and then we can discuss this. So the intro part where you have the comic before him going, originally from San Diego, now lives in LA, Phan. I'm like, who cares? What's the difference? Right. But then that would connect with the last thing he said, but there were 30 seconds in between, so that didn't make any sense. Because then it's just like, oh, my mom's from San Diego. She doesn't like visiting us in LA. She doesn't like
And
LA.
you're wrong, because those are the only credits that are ever. It's either America's Last Comic Standing or he's from San Diego, which I don't know why that's always his credit.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. We're just like, yeah, but he's an Asian man. He can't be from America. You're like, no, tons of people who look like that are from San Diego. It's actually not. So the bread thing is such a horrible bit because he's saying something that's never happened to anyone. It'd be like if I was like, hey, you ever have a guy give you his shoes to try on? You know, like you're just in the grocery store and he's like, hey, what are you, like a 10.5 here? I mean, isn't that crazy when they do that? You're like, what are you talking about throwing bread at your apartment?
It's not even that. It's more. It's like, hey, you ever wake up and your shoe is in the freezer? It's like, what does that mean, Dad? I can't even grasp the concept.
And then he doesn't let the dog eat the bread, but it's for the like what? It's so nonsensical and stupid.
I do want to give him credit for one thing, though.
Okay.
After 20 years, he has finally stopped feeling the need to do his mother in that wacky Korean or Vietnamese accent.
That's true. You're right.
He did her just like any other lady. I couldn't believe it.
That's interesting. You picked up on something. He must have thought that material was so strong he didn't need to go to that.
Yeah, either that or even he realized after it's like, we get it. She's from a different place.
No, he doesn't realize anything. Okay,
No,
so you probably wonder, because Phan is married, you're probably wondering, why would he have this kind of confidence? Why does he think he's funny? You got to think that he's saying all these stupid dad jokes and things around the house, and he's getting shut down, and people are rolling their eyes at him. Well, here's a little peek behind the scenes of him and his wife.
I thought this whole time, instead of Lucille Ball, I thought it was Lucy O'Ball. It's not Lucy O'Ball. I'm mentally broken. I'm today 0 years old when I found this. I can't even speak English.
That's not the
now.
expression.
So it's Lucille Ball. It's not Lucy O'Ball.
Please quit trying to murder me.
Okay, so that whole time, the camera's on his wife, who's hyperventilating. She can't breathe. She's laughing so hard that Phan thought Lucille O'Ball. Well, now I'm saying it. Lucille Ball is Lucy O'Ball.
The man's in comedy. Like, there's no way he thought that.
Talk about having an easy audience, though. Could you imagine if that little banter right there has your wife cracking up that hard? You're like, I gotta get on stage with this.
Me. Bread at the house? Where do you get this stuff?
She's laughing like a stoner watching Big Lebowski. She's like losing her mind over this. You're like, all right, it's not that great. Relax.
Like, you should hear what my Asian mother said. She's like, please, no, I can't take it.
Wait, your mom's from where? They talk differently than us. They sure do. But don't you think that if he had a wife who didn't lose her mind over these things, he might actually learn how to write a joke or something? Might help him?
Or just quit comedy for the good of all of us.
Yeah, or hopefully just quit comedy.
That would be nice.
All right. Here's some more Phan, and then we'll move on to Woke Dad. There's a tease for you.
Want to hear a few punchlines and tags?
Back to the
Oh, looks like I got the... Okay, you guys! That's why... It's inappropriate. So, I'm delivering that like Tonight Show style. Yeah, folks, we have a good show tonight. The Cranberries are here. Good show. Cranberries. Me and my wife are so racist? Ah, yes. How racist are ya? How racist are ya? Thank you, Paul. All right, so just...
Tonight Show.
So, yeah, it's not the Tonight Show, but it's also not any talk show since the early 70s. Like the how
Carson's been
racist...
dead for many years.
The how racist are you thing is not a thing in America anymore.
What? I'm killing Joe. I'm bombing in front of everybody here. That's what... He's like, he bombs so good. You guys, listen, there's some toxic masculinity in me, and there's some gayness in me. For example, my shirts. So I'm trying to tell you guys, I played tummy sticks with Mr. Furley.
Holy shit. I mean, I can't make sense of anything that just happened.
It's crazy. It's a whirlwind. And also, like, half of Dat's clips are him being like, oh, it's crazy. It's almost like I'm bombing here. It's like, no, Dat, you're bombing.
You're definitely bombing.
Over and over again.
The laughter is nervous laughter. The people who are laughing are just like, oh my God.
You seem like an unstable madman.
What are you doing? Why are you doing this? But he did the thing that is one of my least favorite things in comedy. And thankfully I don't see it anymore. But if you go back to the 80s, like Evening at the Improv and shit like that.
Yeah.
The stuff that I used to watch growing up. It'd be like the guy would be wearing like a wacky shirt or something. He'd be like, I know what you guys are thinking.
Sure.
This guy's Asian, but he wears shirts like he's a parrot head. I know, it's crazy. It's just like, can you believe how gay I am? Look at my shirt. Like,
right.
Yeah, but when you chose that shirt for that joke, so it's not really that clever or interesting.
Comedy fans are a little more astute now also.
Yeah.
They know you put on that shirt.
Yeah, I know what you guys are thinking. This guy doesn't comb his hair. Okay. Or you just comb your hair and write a joke if you want to do that instead.
The moral of today's episode is like, you don't have to do comedy forever. You can quit.
Yeah. Move on to something more noble like podcasting.
That's right.
Why aren't you doing what the rest of us are doing and begging for super chats in the way of making personalized jingles?
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks for the super chat, Hulkamania. You might also agree we need more weekly curb-stomping threats from the Army Major.
Hulkamania's got to end up on my Christmas card list this year. Holy shit. Thank you very much for gifting another 5 Who Are These Podcast memberships. If you got a membership, you get to watch the bonus shows, NWATP Live. Go to the community tab. You'll see all the links on there with your membership. Matthew Rowley coming in.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks for the super chat, Matthew Rowley. 1 dot to dots, 3 dots. 1 dot 3 dots for Blind Mike is skull and braille.
You like that Braille joke, Mike?
I do. It's pretty good.
Nothing bad about Mike today. Just wanted to say it's been a rough year, and both of you helped a lot. Thanks. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that,
buddy.
Matthew. I'm glad that we're helping you out. Rocco Orb 2002, $5 says, Super Adventure Club was the Fruity Club chef joints in South Park. Thank you. I that goes back so far, I forget about these chef escapades. I should have known that.
That feels like a totally different show, actually.
I know. It was very different back then.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks for the super chat. Room Goon. John's dead cats at the end of a 30-hour car ride will be given a proper eulogy by Carl.
Rune Goon with $5 says, Carl, can you yell a bit more? I can't hear you over my tractor. Now, I'm guessing that's good old-fashioned Australian sarcasm.
Just a little ribbing.
I think that's some ribbing right there. I'll turn my microphone down, sir. My apologies.
You sound fine to me.
Oh, thank you. I'm not getting as many complaints as I was last week, so I got that going for me. Okay, let's talk about Woke Dad, because as soon as I got this, I had to play it on the bonus show. I had to play it on WTP yesterday. I have to play it again today because my buddy Drew Lane came up with an idea when Woke Dad was praising himself for being a superhero to his kids.
I remember it well.
Yes. He said that he brought his children to a Comic-Con, and they came home all excited about superheroes. They said, Daddy, can we please draw our favorite superhero? And he said, just this once. I'll let you pull out the crayons and draw to your heart's content.
Yeah.
And they both drew a picture of him.
Independently. Just
Both independently, just like, you're our superhero, Dad. And he went, yeah, you know what? It doesn't take superpowers to be a superhero. And I went, well, no, it does.
And if I can critique Daniel's stories, if he listens now, that he
Yeah.
thinks we're a conservative podcast or something,
Yeah.
a believable story would be if one drew you and the other one was like, oh, shit, like I just drew
Yeah, I just like
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Right, yeah. That would make way more sense to me.
Right.
So, because he's a superhero, he has a new superhero theme song, and this is fantastic.
I would do anything in my power to keep him happy, healthy, and safe. The name that they would call their superhero was I stand up against injustice, standing up for what's right. Dress up and have fun. I called him out on his bad behavior, homophobia, transphobia. It's the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen in my life. I create safe spaces for kids. I have 2 queer kids myself. Kids in the trans community. Sometimes it just takes me correcting people. Homophobia, transphobia. And my kid's superhero. Trying to make the world a better place. LGBTQI, LGBTQI, LGBTQI.
Very well done.
It's fantastic, and that one comes in from an anonymous source. But I do know that I think Drew had the idea for the chorus, but very well done. Now,
I like it, yeah.
like I said, Bandit Karate made us a stinger for Woke Dad.
Okay.
Picked the wrong week to do it, obviously, with all the fanfare over that song, but
Yeah.
I think you're going to enjoy this. This is fantastic as well.
Sitting in my mobile coffee shop, making videos about my transvestite children for TikTok.
It's fun.
It's just a dated term that no one uses anymore.
I mean, it's not even accurate. It's not, but it's fun. I like it. All right. So let's get into Daniel Alexander, commonly known here as Woke Dad. He is a TikToker who's saving the world one TikTok video at a time.
Yes.
And this one is no exception.
Do you know what I am? I'm a social
Asshole.
media influencer.
Gay.
I'm a father above all else. I'm a lover.
A closeted homosexual. So many people think that he has to be gay.
Making your kids be gay.
Do you know what I am? I'm a social media influencer. I'm a father above all else. I'm a lover. I'm a coffee shop owner. I'm an ice cream cart owner. I'm
I like this song better when Steve Miller did it, to be honest with you.
an art studio owner. I
I'm a
care about
midnight
people
toker.
deeply. But
Yeah, it's like, all right, we get it.
do you know what I'm not? I'm not a therapist or a psychologist or a psychiatrist. I don't have a PhD or a doctorate. I don't have any information that would make you warrant my opinion as being something correct. I don't have the years of experience or the research. I know what my opinion and what my experiences have brought to the table, but it doesn't mean that I know everything. If you're only getting your information off of social media, if you're making all of your points and perspectives off of random people off the internet, then you're doing it wrong. As a social media influencer and as a person who wants to spread positivity, I do spread a lot of positivity, but the information that I share with you, I want you to question. I want it to be a springboard for you to learn more, to educate yourself, to grow, to learn from people who do have the degrees to be able to share that information. If you're only getting your information from here, then you're doing what the other side is doing.
Whoa, what do you want to be, a Republican? Listen, guys, TikTok doesn't have all the answers. I didn't realize that until he told me, but now I know that's true.
I was thinking it would be great if like some of his comments were like, you know, Daniel, I took your advice, and this Alex Jones says some pretty interesting things.
Yeah, right.
Maybe I'll start listening to him.
You're only listening to one perspective. You're not getting the whole picture. Do a little bit more. Train your brain and grow.
This guy is so far up his own ass. He's like, I realize that most of you are only getting your political opinions from me.
Yeah, that was my main takeaway.
There are other
from it, is that
people
he
out
said-
there too, you
he's
know.
like, guys, enough. You got to stop just listening to me, Daniel Alexander. I know, like, the country, it's probably going to come up in the debates tonight where they're
Yeah.
like, President Biden, should everyone be listening to _shoe_fits?
And Biden's like, that's the only place I get any of my news from now. And he's like,
And
no!
and Trump's going to be like, actually, honestly, same.
Yeah.
Believe it-
They're like,
believe it or
no,
not."
you're just as bad as them. That's what Trump's doing, too. Do not do that. This guy's insane if he thinks that there are people who are just getting all of their information on TikTok.
He doesn't talk about news.
Right.
Like,
I don't know what he means by that.
Like, does he think people at the dinner table are like, did you hear that there was an incident in a bathroom in Western New York?
Oh, God, we're getting to that again. But I do want to say to everyone who lives in the U.S., I realize we have a lot of international listeners, but if you're in the U.S., make sure to watch the debate tonight and don't pick who you're going to vote for until the debate is over. Then you get to choose who you might vote for, all right?
Slip in a couple of Daniel Alexander's videos and then decide.
Right. Good point. Okay. Speaking of MAGA, this might be the most unhinged thing he's ever said. I'm just going to let this play through because this is fucking crazy.
Yeah. My partner's oldest kiddo just graduated from high school. She graduated early. She fought tooth and nail to graduate a year early, and she's doing great things in the world. And I was driving down the street to meet at the restaurant where everyone's meeting after graduation, and I came by a sign on the side of the road that said, "Ban shredded cheese. Make America great again." GRATE. And, okay, possibly it's clever, but
it's not.
But I'm not sure if the intent of the person who put the sign out was to be genuine or ironic. Now, let me give you an idea. I live in upstate New York, but I live in a part of upstate New York that's pretty rural, and it could go either way. And the property that this sign is on, there's a giant steel rooster, like 7 feet tall.
Cool.
Painted like a flag.
Oh, God damn it. Oh,
so what do you think?
Ugh.
Were they trying to be ironic or genuine?
Here's what I think, Dan. I know you're watching us now, so I'll give you my perspective on this. Maybe don't give it another thought and go about your day.
Yeah, maybe it's not that big a deal.
Who gives a shit?
Maybe they voted for Trump and also thought it was a silly catchphrase. Like, who gives a fuck?
But this is the thing, though. Like, people who have the Trump derangement syndrome, like Daniel Alexander, like, we can't even joke about MAGA. That's the most racist thing to ever exist in the world. You can't even joke about it, guys. What are we doing?
And he's doing all this pondering. Like, is it a joke or is it virtue signaling?
Let me give you some clues.
Who gives a fuck?
He drives a Ford F-150. All right? Part of his driveway is not paved. Okay, let me give you some more clues. He's on 1.23 acres of land where he lives.
The rooster is red, white, and blue. Are you not listening to me?
I can't believe he said that. Painted like the American flag. Oh my God, I'm clutching my pearls over here. Not in America.
Not the rooster. Was the rooster at least kneeling?
Oh, God. With a 49ers helmet. Oh, fuck. All right. So this is nuts right here because there is yet another bathroom incident. This is a new video, right?
This guy is spending a lot of time. Well, it might go to another theory that Carl has about him. He's spending a lot of time in public bathrooms.
Yeah, he's tapping his toes underneath the stall. So, all right. I don't know about you. I've been assaulted in a bathroom 0 times, and I even sometimes go see the team I like when they're on the road. So it's and I'm obnoxious, as people say. I yell a lot, and yet I've never been assaulted in a bathroom. This fucking guy, it's like a daily occurrence for him.
Yeah, that's pretty unique. You should count your lucky stars, my friend.
I know. It'll probably happen later today. Now that I said that, but let's hear this.
You know, this might be an uncomfortable conversation, but there is a demographic that's putting other people at risk while using the bathroom. And that demographic is straight men.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Because I was in marketing for most of my life, and so we talked about demographics all the time. It's how we targeted different audiences, like what's our target demographic, and then we'd zoom in and figure out what they're into and their interests. Do people normally talk about demographics like this?
Yes.
They do, okay.
Yeah. What demographic is going to be at the restaurant tonight?
You know what I mean? It's like... All right, whatever. It's so stupid.
Well, also, but like, to your point, where he's using phrases like demographic, everything he's giving is a speech at a podium. Like everything he
Right.
says is the most important. He doesn't talk like a human being.
He's not
He talks
talking
like
English to us. No.
No, he's he's running for office in every TikTok video.
Yeah.
Mostly straight white men, and no, it doesn't feel good to know that people within my demographic are hurting other people, but it's a reality, and I'm not going to ignore it. I was just at a grocery store, one that I go to at least 2 or 3 times a week to get supplies for this coffee shop. This very same grocery store that's a few miles away from Harriet Tubman's house. This very same grocery store in upstate New York where I've seen Confederate flags in the freaking parking lot.
He's been bringing up Harriet Tubman a lot lately. It's very weird.
I'm sure this ends with a guy getting into an altercation with him in the bathroom and then saying, "I'll meet you about 6 miles. I'm not going to do it here near Harriet Tubman's
not
house.
near, I would never do that to Harriet Tubman.
6
obviously.
miles that way. You better watch out."
I'll beat you so hard you'll be down in the Underground Railroad.
Upstate New York. A man decided to push me in the bathroom because he saw my shirt. And do I think he even read my shirt, or he just saw the rainbow and decided to get offended? Because hate's been
that's
emboldened.
probably it.
I don't think he read it. It says, science is real, Black Lives Matter, no human is illegal, love is love, women's rights are human rights, and kindness is everything.
We all know that, Daniel. He didn't have to read your shirt. We've seen that in front of every fucking house. We know what that says.
At first, I was going to say, I don't think he just saw the rainbow and
No,
assaulted you.
of course not.
But it is an incredibly wordy shirt, so maybe he didn't make it all the way through.
No, but honestly, everyone who virtue signals, I mean, in my neighborhood anyway, everyone has this posted in front of their house, especially during the George Floyd riots.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, well, hey, please don't spray paint my garage door. Look, and I got this thing out front. We're cool.
You must have a lot of people breaking into those houses to assault the residents.
Of course.
You know what he said to me when he saw my shirt, decided to push me? He said, "Stay away from kids, you freak."
Oh.
So what do you think?
So wait, so he's seen your TikTok. It has nothing to do with your shirt. He just recognized you from TikTok. Okay.
It's a WATS fan.
Yeah,
Guys,
okay.
we told you not to harass him.
Now it's making more sense.
Should I be the one staying away from kids? Or should the hate that's been emboldened in this country today be what's staying away from our kids? Hate has no home here. I'm frustrated at this idiot that decided this was the way to handle himself. But this is the world we live in. And I'm ready for change.
You know, he's constantly bragging too about how he's like a big guy, he's a bigger guy, and he's, you know, he knows he can be intimidating to other people. And yet everyone's beating the shit out of him everywhere he goes. He must come across like a giant pussy.
Well, so this guy walks up to him, pushes him, and says, "Stay away from my kids, you freak." Then
Yeah.
what? He
I know.
scampered away?
This didn't
Or
happen.
You guys got
This-
into an altercation or what?
He wishes this happened. He wants things like this to happen to him. This is what he wants to be. He wants to be against all this hate that's in the world. I have to tell you, I live my life like everyone else on this planet. I go about my day. I never see anything like this occurring ever anywhere.
No, listen, I'm sure it does, but not to one man every day. It's crazy.
Dude, it doesn't happen. Listen, I live near this guy. I know what he's talking about. You can wear any type of shirt. I mean, let your
you're right. Yeah, I'm sure
flag
that
fly.
doesn't happen. Oh,
People
yeah.
aren't beating you up for wearing a shirt that's like liberal.
In a grocery store
Yeah,
bathroom.
it's so stupid. It
I've
doesn't
never
make any
used-
sense.
I've never used the grocery store bathroom in my life either.
On a pinch.
But I understand. I'm just saying it's not Fenway Park, for God's
Right,
sake.
right.
But-
No, I mean, he's making this shit up.
Well, not only that, but if you go to his TikTok and you find this video, you just scroll through TikTok.
Yep.
If you're able to find this video, and then give that one more swipe up, literally the next video is him going, "About a year and a half ago, I was assaulted in a men's bath." He goes back to that story. I couldn't believe it.
Don't do that back to back. It's going to make it seem like you're lying.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
An idiot. All right, one more from Woke Dad here. This is an odd one, too.
So this very same store that caused me all of this trouble because this employee kept misgendering my son, even after repeatedly being asked not to, the store that I avoided going to just closed. Kind of a bittersweet feeling because I wouldn't go into this store because the way they treated my son and the way they treated me. But it wasn't the employers that did it. It was one employee.
I bet that's why they went out of business, probably misgendering everybody in there.
Where's all this Daniel Alexander business? Our books are cooked.
Yeah, I bet on their Yelp page, just everyone complaining about being misgendered as they go in there. I walked in.
What does the little boy? What does the little fellow want? Come on.
Yeah, I walked in. They're like, ma'am, can I get you some tampons? I'm like, I oughta.
And the heartache part about this is that this was a small business, a small family-owned business that decided to close. Now, I want to talk about why they decided to close real quick and why this is kind of a heartache type of feeling for me. They decided to close not because they ran out of money or because they weren't being successful. They decided to close because a big company bought the property from the owner.
Oh, I thought they were all going to join the Klan and just start lighting up crosses on people's front yards. That wasn't why?
Nice. So it all worked out for them.
Yeah, right. Good.
It's pretty cool.
As a big company bought the property from the owner, offered them more than they could refuse. So they decided to close. And as a small business owner, owning this mobile coffee shop.
Oh, I get what he's pissed about. He doesn't own any land. So he can't sell to a big company. He doesn't have that. Like, well, do you want to buy my car at least? You're like, no, we'd have no use for your car, sir. Fuck.
I might have to take the wheels off this thing.
Yeah.
Man, that hurts. Watching another small town pick up some awful gas station instead of having an actual grocery store because someone got offered more money than they could refuse by a big company. Bittersweet. Definitely bittersweet.
He's mad there's an AM PM moving in? Is that what he's upset about?
What a pompous asshole. Where he acts like, listen, after I stopped going here, this place was forced to close. And then reveals, like, we're not going to put the pieces together. They weren't forced to close. Like, Daniel Alexander is essentially saying, after I stopped going to this place, they were forced to take millions for their property.
Right, yes. That one is a real head scratcher because it's just like, yeah, you might notice that like most of the places that open up are chains. Daniel, it's been happening for quite some time now.
It's great. And like, just so people get the full scope, if you yourselves don't go to Daniel's TikTok, like there's, I mean, legitimately 20 videos a week that we skip probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I mean, if I'm being conservative, 14, like 2 a day, you know? So, and they're all that tone where it's like, it's a speech that he's giving.
So speaking of which, Miguel with $5 says, did you guys ever find out who that guy was a fan of last week after lecturing you guys near the end of the show? My money is on Woke Dad still. I forgot about that. That's interesting. If Woke Dad is coming out here and lecturing us.
I mean, you know what? A second ago, I would have said absolutely not. But
Right.
then I remembered that the conservative video he posted.
Yes. Yeah. So now I'm curious. That would be
that's
hilarious.
interesting. That's not a bad theory.
It's not because the guy seems like a busybody.
Yeah,
He
I
seems
would
like he would-
assume not still, but
Right.
it does fit his MO.
It's fun though. It's a fun idea. Rocco Orby does $5 says Dat Phan's wife reminded me of John Boyd and Billy Big in that she laughs at any lame joke. It's incredible what she's laughing at.
You kill me.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks for the Super Chat Audio File America. Keep this quiet, but Carl emailed you high quality MP3s of John's album to save you the trouble of downloading it on the WATP Patreon.
Audiophile America, $10 says, I don't create content in any medium because content creation is for pricks. No offense. I don't take any offense to that. I get it. Chardy McDennis, $5 says, Woke Dad spreads hate by being so hateable. I agree. I'm with you on that. The whole community
He's
is
making
formed.
us feel hate. I go through my whole
Yeah.
day without hate in my heart.
James R. $2. He's just selling coffee out of his tent.
Pretty much.
Rick U 3220 coming in with $5. I think Rick U probably has a personalized jingle, if I had to guess.
Here comes the money.
Here we go.
Thanks Thanks for the amazing super chat, Rika 3220. It is greatly needed to offset the worst business decision in podcast history for Blind Mike to go SJ free on his show.
He says, I don't think I've ever spoken to another man while in a public restroom. How does woke dad keep ending up in these situations? Like, the most I would communicate to another person is fuck the Dolphins if they're wearing like a Dolphins jersey or something like that. That's about as far as I would go with that.
I don't speak to how. That's the other thing is like maybe if you're a loudmouth or something, maybe you are always getting into these conversations.
Right.
Supposedly, Daniel Alexander is minding his own business, and everywhere he goes, people are coming up to him. Hey, you bum! Get out of here, queer!
Well, or he's witnessing a race war and taking place right in front of him, and he has to break it up all the time. All right, let's hit some voicemails to get out of here.
Hey, Carl, this is for who are these socials? Blind Mike, you're like woke dad. You're not a hero, but I want you to be my hero. So I'm gonna gouge my son's eyes out. Come here, kid. Come here. Give me your eyes. Give me your eyes. All right, thanks, Mike. You're my hero.
Give me your eyes. That's a terrifying thing.
I hope I didn't inspire that, but I can lead him to greatness if you'd like me to.
Yes, if you want your kids to be good at podcasting, they can enter Blind Mike's course for blind podcasters.
Carl, I'm watching Who Are These Socials again with Daniel, and I'm sure if I've called before, I know I have, and if I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry, but dude, Daniel is gay. He's gay. The fucking coffee guy, Daniel Woke Dad, is a homosexual, which is fine. But why do you guys insist on talking about him as if he is just some straight shooter? He's a father and he's a business owner and his daughter. You never talk about that. He's a flaming homosexual.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my!
It fucking blows my mind, dude. Wake up and smell the pubes, fag.
Whoa. We were having fun.
He's fat. Real fat.
Okay. We were having fun for a
John?
minute there. Yeah, then it was John got on the call somehow. He grabbed the phone.
No, the guy's straight as an arrow. Well, that's one funny thing that he does is, despite all the rhetoric that he spews, or the letteric, as Kate Meany would say, a lot of his videos start with, "I am a straight man. I love women."
Yes, you're right.
Him just telling you, which that might. I mean, maybe that gives the guy a little more fuel for his theory, but
no, he definitely does, because he's just like, my kids, I'm not setting a role. I'm not a good role model for them because I'm hitting puss all day long.
I am so straight.
I'm
I am
so
hetero
straight
to the core.
I'm getting a chubby and when a girl with a C cup walks into my store, like I can't help it. I'm so heterosexual. Wait a second, really? Okay, last one.
Do we know if Woke Dad is related to Ron Jeremy?
What?
I have a hunch he is, because that guy sure does love sucking his own dick.
Okay.
Love the shit.
All right, very good. I like it.
I actually didn't see that coming.
Didn't know where that was going at first. All right, Mike, are you still doing the blindmike.net? Did you get that figured out?
Blindmike.net, thanks to a lot of the good people on the internet, is finally back. So
Great.
I appreciate that. Yeah, you can find all my links there, blindmike.net. Wherever you get podcasts. Why You Laughing is on hiatus, sort of. We have bonus episodes still going up on Patreon, and we're going to have episodes that will come out eventually going up on Patreon soon. So check those out. And Blind Mike Project every Sunday at 10 a.m. We'll be back live this Sunday at 10 a.m.
Nice.
And we'll talk about Stuttering John and all the other stuff.
Missed you this past weekend, so that'll be good.
Yes. Well, we made it. If you didn't know that we went live on Monday evening, then go check that episode out.
I did see that. I did. Also, programming note: we will be off next week because it is the 4th of July here in America, where we pretend that we have independence, and so we'll be celebrating that. But we'll be back again the week after that. Of course, whoarethese.com for all things Who Are These podcasts. And when you go there, you'll see a link to the Comedy at the Carlsons page where you can purchase tickets for DabbleCon 2, August 16th and 17th. WATPlive.com will also get you there. Pick up your weekend passes. We got the Roast of the Dabbleverse. Really good chance Mike Geary will be there roasting all of us. We have the live podcasts, Who Are These Podcasts, Uncle Rico Show, and Tukey and Potato Soup. And then we have the Dabby Award Show, which is fantastic last year. It's going to be even better this year. So check that out. And all right, I got to get running. So
let's get the hell out of here.
Let's do it.
Anyway, social media, I'll catch you later, man.
Who are these socials?
That's what this audience wants to hear. They're like, whoa!
Who are these socials?
I'm the one who should apologize.
Folks, what you were about to see is real.
With Karl.
Okay, we got it.
And Blind Mike.
Who could have thought of that?